Hello everyone. In this lesson we talk about the classifications of the plants. We can classify plants into major groups: the vascular plants and non-vascular plants. Non-vascular plants, they do not have the vascular tissue. It means they do not have the xylem and phloem. Another one are the vascular plants. They also divided into major groups: seed plants and seedless plants. These groups are vascular plants that do not have seed to reproduce. This group of seed plants divided into groups: angiosperms and gymnosperms. So let's take a start of these groups of the plants. Number 1. Non-vascular plants. The non-vascular plants means they do not have vascularities. They do not have xylem and phloem. They also do not have any real stems, roots, and leaves. Examples for non-vascular plants like the liverworts, hornworts, and mosses. As you know, we don't have any leaves, root, and stems. Instead of these structures, here we have capsule, the sac-like structure that holds the spores, this structure responsible for reproduction of the plant. And the stalk, we have the stalk that holds the capsule. We have stem-like structure and leaf-like structures, and also instead of the root we have rhizoid that absorb water and minerals from the soil. Another type of the plant are vascular plants. Vascular plants have vascular tissue like xylem and phloem, and they divide into main groups. Number 1, the seedless plant. Vascular plants divide into major or main groups. Number 1, seedless plant. Seedless means they do not have seed. They do not have seed or flowers, or they can reproduce by other things, which spores. Like non-vascular plants, seedless plants, they do not have seed. They reproduce by spores. Examples for this group are ferns, horsetails, whisk ferns, and club mosses. These are the groups of the seedless plants. So let me know what is actually the xylem and phloem do in the plants. So, and what is the functions of these structures? Number 1 is xylem. Xylem, you can see here in this chart, xylem transports water and minerals up to the plant's stem from the root or from the bottom of the plant to other parts, to the upper parts. So it's a unidirectional, a single directional but phloem have a two or multiple directionals to flow sugar or food. So here phloem transports water and food, which is the sugar mainly, to other parts of the plant. It may be from the leaves to the roots. For example, carrots, they store food in the roots. For example, we have too many other plants that store the food in the roots, and we have also examples that store the food in the stems, leaves, and the fruits. The group number 2 of vascular plants are seed plants. So now you know seedless vascular plants reproduce by spore. Seed plants also divide into two main groups, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Number 1 of seed plants are gymnosperms. Gymnosperms means they are naked seed. They have seed, but the seed doesn't have a protective enclosure. So the seed is naked, doesn't surround it by a protective layer. This is why they call gymnosperms. Gymno means naked, sperm means seed. So this group of gymnosperms, they have cones, the seed producing structures. So the seeds are protected in the cone. And this group also, they're more advanced than the ferns, because this group reproduce by seed, not by spores. So it's more advanced than the seedless plant. Another group of seed plants is angiosperm. Angiosperm groups, they are all the flowering plant, which is the seed enclosed in the protective layer, which is the seed coat. This one is a protective layer that enclose the embryo and protect the seed from the external environment. Angiosperms classified as a monocots and dicots. Monocots, flowering plant, and the dicot, flowering plants. In this table, we differ and we contrast and compare the monocot group from the dicot groups. The monocot, mono means single, cot seed, so they have a single or one cotyledon. They have one cotyledon per one seed. They are one part. For example, corn seed. The corn seed is just one cotyledon. You can't divide the seed into two parts. But dicot seeds, dicot seed have two cotyledon. They have two cotyledon. The roots of monocot are fibrous. They are fibrous roots. But the dicot roots have a tape roots, the larger roots. The vascular tissues of the monocot are scattered. They are scattered in the stem. But the dicot stem have a ringed or lined up the vascular tissue. The leaf structure is also different. The monocot leaves, they have parallel veins, the lines parallel to each other. But in the dicot leaves, the lines of the veins are net-like. The flowers of the monocot multiples of 3, 1, 2, 3, but the dicot flowers are multiples of 4 or 5. So by these points, characteristics of the monocot and dicot, you can easily differ the monocot plants from the dicot. This is the today's lesson. Hope all of you got the lesson, and thank you for watching. Feel free to ask any question.